Hey guys, my name is Ryan. We're back again with another Spirit Island video. Today, we are playing Shroud of Silent Mist, paired up with a spread of Rampant Green, going up against Habsburg 6. Let's go! Alright, we are opening up with the turn 1 Mountains Explore. So anytime that we pair spirits up with green, we have illusions of grandeur, and we're really hoping that we can make some amazing epic combos happen. But I feel like doing some proliferation on Shroud can be particularly helpful. There's this really awkward point in Shroud's bottom track where you have the move presence into the moon, where you'd really like to reclaim with 3 card plays, but it's just so hard to get there. I feel like the support that Shroud desperately needs is any way to help them get their first reclaim to be a lot better and easier. And so certainly a proliferation can help us out to that end. Additionally, green has the left innate, which does very little damage, which can be pretty awkward against Habsburg. Or really just really awkward in general. And Shroud is able to take this really awkward thing that is oftentimes not very useful and convert it into something that can be incredibly helpful. So the goal here is to find some great synergies and see if we can make the magic happen. When we have certain explorers, like let's see on C, we're going to be looking at like a big stacked loss condition in the 7. No decisions to be made here. But with F, we can deny a town gather from going into F6 because the F8 town can get pulled into C3 or into F4. So we have some choices there. I think I'm probably going to go C2 into C3 and then F8 into F4 because that way there's still no town adjacencies to the C3 and this becomes only a 2 damage ravage. Gives us the option if we want to allow the surviving Dahan to counterattack and kill the town. We could also choose to keep this damaged and then slide a presence in there from Shroud. We got a few choices. Anyways, without yapping too much, let us do standard opening for us, which would be to do the Fog Closes In with the Flowing and Silent Forms. Now, for green, the standard opener is to go to gain a power card on turn 1, and then turn 2 be like really, really explosive. I'm just wondering, I guess there's no reason to deviate. I mean, I was kind of thinking, what if we did like a Gift of Proliferation plus something on this turn? But that would require us to do like this double grow, and it makes our next turn dramatically weaker. Remember, we could just use this Defend 2 in order to save C3. We could also choose to turn off the loss condition in C7. There's a lot of good uses for it, and I don't think it's worth throwing away that option. So yeah, let's keep the standard. Let's just gain a power card. No need to get too wild and crazy. Domesticated Animals goes Berserk is interesting if we choose to utilize these Dahan here for defense. Called a Bloodshed might not be the ticket. Absorb Corruption is interesting. Being able to move Blight can be quite useful against Habsburg. If I take for like a Domesticated Animals or something, then when I go for the extra card plays, I guess I could Domesticated Animals into the C3. And then we can proliferate ourselves up into, we could go for like a Overgrow, Prolif. We'll typically go like Overgrow, Prolif, like Fields Choked. Maybe we just take the LC and we don't worry about it, right? We use this Domesticated Animals in order to protect ourselves in the 3. And on this turn, I'm just trying to see if there's a way we can make use of Stem the Flow of Fresh Water in order for us to get 3 damage lands on turn 1 for Shroud, right? We get damage lands in the 4. We can damage this one on the 7. And then if we manage to also damage the 3 and get our presence in there. So if we were to do that, what are all of our Shroud movements going to be, right? So we got 4 actions to move. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we could, like, flowing to the 8. Fog closes in here. Dahan movement here. No. With the flow here. Damage here to slide in. Fog closes in to slide in. And then Dahan here in C3. Okay, so we can pull it off. We can pull it off. So therefore, with all of that in mind, let's go domesticated animals and make a sacred site here. Okay, so we said we have the flowing and silent forms here. That could be a really good gather. It's really hard for Shroud to get presence into the sands. So actually, I do like this. That's a synergy right there. Pulling into C3 first. We want to go here. And then we want to go here. Okay, we get the sands follow-up. So now... Okay, what we can do a damage here, and then gather this way to ping that. Fog closes in, going here to do that. We have to damage all of these so that way we can skip them because of the +2 damage this way. Then we will go push up to 1. And that'll be a push 0. And then we do 1 to everything. And this will get us 1 additional fear, which means that we get the extra energy for the turn. And that's a really, really big thing for getting Shroud online. Okay. So now that Shroud's going to be online, we're still going to be playing the Unnerving Pollen. We still can't afford the Dissolving Vapors. So we're just going to draft and play whatever we get. Entrancing Apparitions is not a bad... Entrancing Apparitions is a great card for us in general. But also, look at this. It solves both of our sands. One of the tricks... That's kind of... Well, also, it's the only non-fire card, so we're just taking it. But one of the tricks against Habsburg that can be a little bit unintuitive is you actually really, really want to control the Explorers and deny the builds. If you deny the build, you'll have a lot of success. And I think that can be a little bit unintuitive. So if we do this, then also, because that's an air card, that also gives me a damage here. Lots and lots of options. This is great. Probably go like town in this way, town up this way. All right. So now we need to add a presence here so we can defend for 5. Dahan will kill one of the towns, and it'll probably slide up this way. It'll actually have to slide up this way, so so be it. Or I guess we could keep both these towns alive, slide one in, and still fear farm the other. And then right here, we can do our innate defend if we manage to pull that off. At least in this land. I think we're going to have more abilities to damage lands than we actually have like the capacity to handle it. So if we go here. Here. And if we go here, we can self-proliferate for the extra damage. Or we can go... Well, we'd have to go here and here in order to self-proliferate, get the plant, and defend for 2. So I think we just take a loss condition and just bad things are going to happen on this board. But we're getting Shroud set up pretty nicely. I think this has to be the play. Also notable, I could choose to just defend 2 here, but I think taking a little bit of blight is perfectly fine against Habsburg, but denying the builds is really, really important. It reduces the amount of plastic on the board and allows us to not get completely overrun. Ooh, and also triple moon gives us the beast. That's always useful. Let's see. This is going to gather a town. And then because of the adjacent town, this would be a loss condition. And we can't take another one. So let's go here. Prolif. If we prolif water, that's actually not completely useless. It gets us an extra action for movement, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. We really don't want to move that many things. So yeah, let's just pull out the moon and make our reclaim turn a little bit better. Interestingly, we could choose to delay reclaim for a turn and play like Dissolving Vapors plus whatever we draft. But yeah, let's see. Could go here. Well, I know that we're going to bring this guy in, so I'm just going to save myself an action so we don't need to worry about chasing that damaged building. Ooh, +1 damage. That's brutal. Oh, wow. That beast is instantly relevant. Holy cow. Because now Dahan survive and we don't take blight. Okay. Jungle or wetlands gets a free Dahan. So second one here, second one here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's going to be a loss condition here. Remove those 2 there. And yeah, the Dahan doesn't survive and kill the town. So that's a shame. Alright, so this one was forced. This one was forced. Now we're going to land number 1. We'll pull out this one. And for land number 8, we'll pull out this one. So now, with the single presence movement, all 5 of our presence will all be on a damaged building. We've already got 3 covered. We can add a town here. Adding a town. Not adjacent to anything. Adjacent to things. And, oh yeah, we get a second one as well. Defended too many ravages. Okay. So if I come in here with this presence, now all 5 of my presence will be producing fear, right? That's the maximum amount of fear I can possibly produce. Everything else is just reducing the amount of plastic on the board, right? Now we're just playing Spirit Island. Okay. So we've achieved that goal. Now, how do we play Spirit Island from here? Dissolving Vapors is a really good card. It'll be very effective in F4. This land number 7 is really, really important for us to be able to handle. We can absolutely afford to take some blight here. We should not be afraid of blight. That will reduce the amount of towns we have to take from escalation. So like the C6, we can just let it go. That's perfectly fine. You know, this F1, we can let it go. That's perfectly fine. So I think I would like to do one more growth just so I can reclaim on 3 card plays. And Nature's Resilience is a very exciting card. Surely that's got to be the pick, right? I mean, Scream Disease is how we would do it if we wanted to get the innate. But frankly, the innate does not do that much damage. The innate really exists to set up our fear farms. And we've already got ourselves maxed out, right? Like, Shroud, for some reason, is nerfed such that you can only get 5 feet a turn. Even though, like, we're really restricted by our presence that exists on the board, not by anything else. But that aside, I think Nature's Resilience is going to be our path towards victory. So we can go here, make a Sacred Site in the 2, defend the F1. And yeah, and we have a leftover energy too. Yeah, we're in a great energy position. So this is a really good time for our reclaim. That proliferation really pays off. As far as green goes, I think we have to reclaim. Yeah, Voracious Growth definitely makes no sense here. Call to Ferocity could be a play somewhere in, like, you know, C3. Gnawing Root Biters, we're just not in the right lands. You know, we really struggle to get ourselves into the mountain, so these range 0 effects are not going to be the winning ticket. So Gnawing Root Biters or Call to Ferocity is really the only way to interact this turn. Now, I do think that Stem the Flow of Fresh Water is a really good play this turn. Being able to blow up. I mean, we could use that in F4, maybe. And then we could save Dissolving Vapors for another land, such as F6. I mean, F7 is a land that's going to desperately need some attention. And perhaps if there was a way... Yeah, we have so few actions. I guess I could do this. And then we can Dissolving Vapors plus Stem the Flow of Fresh Water to full clear the C7, since this is our you lose the game land. And it only leaves F6 as a big problem. But, like, we can have one big problem, right? And we can just make a Sacred Site with, you know, the Overgrow and the adding a presence this way. We can't have two big problems. And this one is the bigger of the two, so we'll take care of it that way. I don't think this is going to be the game-winning decision, and I think Call to Ferocity is just generally better than non-Root Biter, so we'll take that. We can add a presence. We need to make a Sacred Site. So we'll do so... Do I need the extra energy in the short term? My whole hand costs 4. And I'm not playing Overgrow this turn, so no. I could domesticate the 2. If I do that, then we'd be defending here for 6, skipping by sacrificing, defending here for 5, and letting it blight. Just so that we can stem the flow to kill all of this. We do get 1 ping of damage, which we could probably use in the C3 town that's going to build a city, gather a town. So yeah, killing off a town is something that's certainly worthwhile. Reduces our fear farm, but whatever. Think this would be the line. Okay, so we go here. We would go here. We have to pay 1 energy each, which they both can afford. But yeah, it's certainly awkward for Shroud. We'll go here, pay an energy. Actually, over here, I think we actually want to take a Blight on this board, so that way we actually don't take a Dahan. So I don't even remember which land I clicked. We'll take a Blight. I want to be judicious about which land we pick. Has to be land with buildings, so there's not many choices. I don't want to lose a presence. There's no value here, so we'll go here. And on this board, we're going to take a blight here. And so, ooh, actually we get free damage on this land. That's really, really nice. That gets a fear farm, so we can burn up that fear farm, no problem. And we'll pay an energy this way. Okay, free Dahan. Both spirits can do it. I'm seeing both in C3. I'm also seeing C5 for both spirits. So we'll just do one each way. Ooh, oh no, this still needs to be sacrificed because of +2 damage. Okay, so it starts in C2, and we will gather, we have 3 choices. Regardless, I think I want to gather this, the unblighted one into the 7. So we keep this here so it's easier to kill. And so that means that we would want to gather in this damage town. Here we'll gather there. Now it goes into the 4. And we want to preserve this fear farm. So we'll go here. And then there's nothing left for that one. Okay, wetlands. Hey, adding the blight there. It's going to find a way to make value. Habsburg. 3, 2, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oof. There's actually no towns adjacent to C3 right now. Is there a way to keep it that way? If we add to one of the wetlands, there would be. That's fine. We can just skip that. Because that's going to be necessary when we do the a defense in this land. I was actually thinking about domesticated animals, but I realized that's not going to work. Yeah, we're on 4 lands. That's fine. We get the energy, and that's what matters. All right. Here we go. Reclaim turn. A lot of exciting things to look at. Blood Draws Predators has fire, but the other 3 can still be picked. Gift of Twin Days is quite strong. Lots and lots of cheap cards by both spirits. We can do a Gift of Twin Days to set up a Gift of Proliferation repeat, which is always very exciting. For green, I think we're going to gain a card, gain energy, and go up to 3 card plays. I think that's the direction that we're going to choose to go. Things are looking really good on green's board, of course, but they're looking quite terrible on Shroud's board. This is an instant game over if it ravages. This is a game over if it ravages. Shroud does have the Defend 6, which will absolutely be used, and we also have a the Ravage Skip. So using both of those can solve F4. We could also choose to use our Defend 6 as well as our Entrancing Apparitions in order to pull Explorers out. That's another way of solving it. We could also do this Guardian Serpents in order to just create another form of defense. The Beast might randomly be helpful. I don't think Reach and Grasp is the answer. I don't think that's going to be an issue, especially because we have the Flowing and Silent Forms to pull around Green's presence as needed. So it really comes down to Twin Days versus Guardian Serpents. And I think I'm going to wind up going with Guardian Serpents. I find that really all you want is just piles of defense on Shroud, and that'll generally win you the game. As for green, I could go for a major if I'm not going to play this Overgrow in a night. And perhaps something big and splashy is important. Sleep and Never Waken solves all of our problems. Flocking Red Talons solves our problems too, actually. Hold up. Add a beast, bring 2 beasts in, deals 3 damage and pushes 3 invaders, so we get to ping town, kill 2 explorers, push 3 towns. And I feel like that's a slightly more proactive version of Sleep and Never Waken. Like, skipping a land is great, but Flocking Red Talons, because like cities just don't exist in the inlands, Flocking Red Talons I feel like can produce a lot of value over the course of a game by putting things where they are. But maybe that's just me trying to find a reason not to take Sleep. Sleep is, of course, very strong. The Moon Air Animal. We do have Moon Animal here. Explorer removal, there's not like extra explorers or nothing being added, so I don't think that's going to be a big deal. Both, it's either going to be Sleep or Flock and Red Talons, right? And we're going to go Gift of Proliferation, probably a Fields Choked, and then a Sleep, right? That's going to be our 3 cards. So we can either major, solve this land. Shroud's going to solve this land. This land, uncertain. We could do a defend 4 for Shroud here. That might be the line that we choose to go with. I feel like Sleep is safer. Helps us get away from any oopsies moments. Let's see. We're going to want a Sacred Site up here quite soon, no matter what. So we can do this. Gives us a little bit of damage, which lets us kill a town in C5, which is certainly relevant. In addition to, like, you know, all your Fear Farm setups. Over here, if we go Unnerving, Nature's Resilience, I mean, I could just go for, like, a Flowing and Silent Forms and just protect our presence from dying in this land. But it does mean that we're just chucking everything away, or at least chucking all the Dahan away. We do have a couple Fear cards, which could be helpful. We're going to be producing 1, 2, 3, 4 fast Fear, so we're going to be 1 Fear short of a 3rd Fear card. I think this is fine. Don't want to move any presence. We got Sacred Site here for defense. Nerving Paul solves that. Flowing in Silent Form solves this. During the slow phase, do I want my presence to be any lands? Because I only got 1 movement in the slow phase. I think I'd like to do this. Making this Sacred Site here across F8, F7. Okay, then you're good. Remove invaders from Ravage. Flowing in Silent Forms here. And actually, I can make a Sacred Site, right? So that way, if the Fear cards don't save us, we just destroy a presence. I don't think... Does that work? I don't know. I actually never thought about this combo. If this works, that's going to be absolutely freaking insane. Also, I need to undo that because I need that for range and targeting. Has to be from a Sands. Hey. If this works, that would be absolutely insane and that would just change everything. I think it works, but I am more than prepared to be surprised. Okay, by prolifing, I can do a G3 and hit my Reclaim 1, and then that's just like absolute God mode for Shroud, so we'll be in a really, really happy place if that let's see. Doesn't really matter where I go. I have a good cloud going on this board. I guess I have nothing adjacent to the 6. But nothing's happening there anyways. All the action is here and here. Let's just put another presence out there. As for Ravages, that's good. We're probably sacking here. But we can. That's skipped. And that one's fully defended. We'll just go there, hoping that we don't have to sacrifice a presence. You know what's funny is if we push this town out, the damage remains the exact same because there is no adjacent town right now. So the only way to reduce the damage on land is actually to kick out the Explorer. And we are going to get 2 Fear, which is going to get us a 3rd Fear card. So yeah, let's just kick out the Explorer. And then, where are we looking at? Here. Ooh, pushing the town is great. And there's only 2 damaged invaders here. So we can actually make use of the Unnerving Paw and just remove it from the Ravage, and we're still perfectly fine. From a land not matching a build card. Okay, so we can't interact with the wetlands. We can mess around with other things, though. In this land, we have, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we push the town out. It still becomes a 5 damage Ravage, so this accomplishes nothing to push that town. We could push... We could push a town in to make it worse. That's pretty smart. We could push this in. And what does that accomplish? Not a whole heck of a lot. I guess I could minimize that adjacency. What can I do to get value here? I guess I could double push towns out of the 6 so that way nothing gathers into the 8. That's something. Ooh, replace an Explorer with a town. So if we do that here, first off, that'll die. And then second off, this will be fully defended. So it'll be 3 against... No, it'll be 3 against 4. No, but if it dies, then it's 3 against 2. So you're good. Okay, so now we're taking no blight. Where else can I turn a town into an Explorer? Certainly C8 seems like a great contender. Also has to be on this board. So we're looking at one of these coastal lands. This will deny a city from existing, which I think is more than enough reason to do it. 1 damage per Dahan. There's only 1 Dahan there. Drat. Let's see. We're not going to get another Fear card, and that's going to die anyways, so we might as well go here. Yeah, we can gather that damage town into the wetlands. That'll instantly die. And we're sitting in a great place. Oh, it was already damaged. That's alright. 1, 2, 3. Don't participate. So that one's all good and fine. Choose a land to build in. Was there a modifier to the build? There was, adding an Explorer. Okay. So either add to the 7 or to the Beast land. So obviously we're going to go in the Beast land. Here, there's no adjacent land, so it just fails to find. Okay, gathering. Here, we gather the damaged one. That dies. Nothing here. Here we're pulling into the 3, so we'll pull out of the unblighted land. And then here we'll pull an undamaged one. And then Escalation. Boom, and could go here, could go here. I think we'll go here. Oh man, Wave of Immigration. I wasn't even thinking about that. Okay. Let's go here, and then I guess the rest of that is forced. We'll go not into the sands. That's bad for us. Not here. I got plans, so we'll go there. Over here for the city. Are we able to deal with this land? Honestly, the answer is no. Right now, it's hitting for 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's just Nature's Resilience on Reclaim. So I think we have to go into the 1 to kick that can down the road. Right now we have 2 lands with damage. Okay, not very many. It's just these 2 right here. We need 1 more just for the energy. We could just use the Field's Choked and kick this town out, and then we can use this damage to set up some fear farms for us. Like, you know, ping city here. And then we could ping town and then push town into this land. So that way then I'd be on 4 fear farms and then use my own ping. Okay, it puts me on 4. And then use my own ping somewhere to get my 5th. Such as that. Considering green does not provide any fear at all, I think it's really important to keep those fear farms churning. Okay, over here, game plan, defend 2, skip Ravage. Up here, defend 6, figure it out. Okay, so we'll reclaim, gain a minor. All good plant cards. Shadows of the Burning Forest is not very relevant in the short term. Sear Anger is really, really nice. The Badlands is so useful when we have all these small damage pings. So I'm really strongly leaning towards Sear Anger. The fact that it costs 0 makes it really nice too. I think I'm going to go here. We'll be on 2 energy, so I can go for like an Overgrow. We can just skip this land. Play like a Sear Anger, maybe a Stem the Flow. Right? Get a lot of damage done here in the 6. That seems like a pretty slick suite of cards to me. Got my Defend 2. Got 1 damage. That'll always find ways to be useful. Shroud. I'm on 3. I can go up to 5 card plays, and I'd have 4 energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wouldn't even be able to play everything. So that doesn't make sense. So yeah, let's just gain a card. Ooh, Elemental Boon. Can Elemental Boon be a winner? All of these cards could be winners. A Defend 2 is a whole lot of something that's not very useful. Call to Isolation, big pushes is always interesting. Though we've lost a lot of Dahan, and the Dahan just aren't in the right places. Bird's Cry could certainly be useful considering how much Dahan defend action we're doing. Or like defend action but without the Dahan. Being able to, become a more well-rounded spirit could be useful. But Elemental Boon, I think, just has a really nice top end. We go like Moon, Water, which is both our elements, and then Air. Yeah, we just do like a Selfish Trio. That'll turn out pretty slick for us. Only reason I'm looking at Call to Isolation is because it costs 0, and we are spending a lot of energy. Also, it's a shame, there's 0 empty lands, so we can't really use Entrancing Apparitions in the way that you would hope. That is a shame. Call to ISO, though. To either Call to ISO or Ellie Boon. I mean, Ellie Boon isn't insane. I mean, it's 1 damage and 2 defense. That doesn't even matter. Let's go Call to ISO. So what are we playing? Call to ISO because it's cheap. We need to reclaim and play this Nature's Resilience. We have 2 skips coming down from green and a defense from green, so everything else that we can do can be offense. So we could just do this and this and just break out as much damage as possible. I think that's pretty sensible. It's fine. Okay. So defend here, adding a presence right there. Let's see. Do this to defend 6. And then, yeah, where's this call to ISO going to go? I mean, maybe I just bring a Dahan into the F1, considering that we're going to try and Dahan defend that, you know, because it's already so well set up. I could also get this Dahan out of the land and try and do something more useful with it, but there's no value in that in the short term. So what's that, a push? Yeah, so we'll push a Dahan this way. Add a city to a coastal land with city. Okay. Let's go here and here in the inactive lands. Ooh. Well, I could add it to this land so that we 2s across the board and we just don't lose our Dahan. Here, it's going to go into the 2 anyways, so let's do that. Yeah, let's go here. Let's go here. Okay, right there. And then we get the push. So both spirits have a presence in this land. I just pulled myself out of my Dahan land on this board. I got no presence in those Dahan lands. And we, of course, can go here as well. I think this is really high value, just killing off those guys. Really nice. We can, you know, add a Badlands, ping it, and kill it. And then Shroud, we got 1 land to work with. This has... Does that kill the town? If I do this, I think that's fine. Okay, you're good. You're dead. You're good. Oh, and I never got the test to see if I can save that sacrifice. I'll have to do that by the end of the game. I'm very interested to see how that is ruled. All right, going into C2, we will pull here. And then going into the 6, we'll pull here. Into the 1, go here. And into the 8, go here. Escalating. Only one choice. Only one choice. Oh, okay. Sure. Whatever. All right. So I can get 3 damaged in the C2 and then skip it with my Unnerving Paul. Over here, we'll definitely be able to defend this with like a Nature's Resilience. Maybe like Call to ISO, kick an Explorer town out or something, right? That'll be all good and fine. This land here is going to be trouble. We can always skip it, but I want to try and be as proactive as I can be. This only damages buildings, so I have to Dissolving Vapors this. Fog closes in. We can certainly use on this board somehow. Perhaps in the F2. We've only got 1 adjacency currently. I could do it here in the 5, which will ping town and then kill off all the explorers. Push Dahan into maybe the 1. I could also damage all the buildings here in the 5. How many damaged lands do I have? 5 lands. Okay, we're maxed out. This is also a land if we slide. Well, it doesn't matter, right? We're already on 5 lands. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lands. So yeah, we're good still. This is another variation of fog closes in. So we can use a real fog here, and then use my innate fog here, sliding this presence down. So real fog here will damage town, kill the explorers, kick the Dahan out. Second fog here, so we can like ping city and then do 3. Which will get rid of some invaders. And pushing a single Dahan. Which is really just used for rearranging your stuff. Let's see. So yeah, let's go. Fog closes in. Bring you down. Bring you over. Okay, and then we can go here. Bringing you in. Going... damage. 1, 2, 3. That way I can also... Keeping these cities at 1 HP makes it really easy for me to kill them later. Stem the flow will just... Is that my only sacred site? It is. Not a lot of good targets. I could just kill both these cities. Leave behind just a single town. That's enticing. Or I could just damage everything in the 8. I think that latter option just feels better. Last, I get to push a Dahan just for kicks. This guy and this land isn't really doing anything. He'll be useful eventually. You're pretty useless right now, and you might want to get yourself into this jungle. This single Dahan, but yeah, we can't get in there. We can't give that stuff. That's also damage. We don't want to give that up. Notably, we're on 6 damage lands, which gets us 2 energy. Even though we don't get the extra fear, we do get extra energy. So we really don't want to mess around with all these damage lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only leaves 1, 2, 3 presence that we can viably move. So let's just do this. Yeah, good time to reclaim. Going to be on 4 card plays and potentially 5 energy. This is a really, really good time. Wish I could go for a major. Maybe we'll go... I could go for a major, double grow top. Then we could afford that major next turn. I mean, this Guardian Serpents isn't going to get played anytime soon. Alright, Smothering Infestation. Plenty of lands that we could use that in, right? We got the jungles coming up right now. I don't want to take a fire card, and I definitely don't want to take Unleash. Vengeance of the Dead is pretty cheap, so Trees Radiate is another interesting card. Do we have the Sun Moon Plant? Yeah, we got that if we keep the Guardian Serpents. We go Guardian Serpents, Trees Radiate, Call to Isolation, Nature's Resilience, and we can threshold the Trees Radiate. And if we do that, we'll kill the city, and then the Defense 6 will fully defend this land. So let's say we do that, right? Let's say we do Trees Radiate plus all the aforementioned cards. It doesn't make sense because we don't need these other defend cards. So I don't think Trees Radiate's the ticket. Then we'll Smothering Infestation. Now, what are we playing this turn? Call to Isolation is honestly not bad. Kicking both these guys out makes us a 5 damage Ravage, and someone like a Guardian Serpents can get the job done. A Nature's Resilience can get the job done. We go Nature's Resilience, Unnerving Paul to solve these two. This land here, we probably just skip with the Sleep. Maybe this Entrancing Apparitions just because... Even as good of a card as it is, there's like no empty lands. But it was pretty sweet that one time. So if we do that, we go Smothering, Unnerving, Guardian Serpents, Call to ISO. Gives me a decent turn. No Threshold on the Smothering Infestation. And we do... We have a plant so we can threshold in the future. So I think that's not worth it right now. I think that's just a bad version of dissolving vapors. Notably with Guardian Serpents, it's a spirit targeting power, not a land targeting power. And so we'd have to have the Sacred Site before we do the Guardian Serpents. So we could do something like this. Okay, here I'm thinking we want to play Sleep. That's going to require us to do this G3 no matter what. So let's just do that. Gaining a minor. Ooh, Gift of Living Energy. That's an exciting one. Sky's Herald. Do we even have Destroyed Presence? We do not. And we can just grow our Destroyed Presence. I like the Gift of Living Energy. It just really opens up my majors options. Gosh, we got Gift of Living Energy and Gift of Proliferation, just turning Shroud into a Super Saiyan, huh? Okay. We do have Presence into Saiyans, that's within range, so we can target that. Therefore, we need to start thinking about the jungles. Maybe we make another Sacred Site, but we have no presence in any jungle, so that doesn't make too much sense. It's a difference of 1 energy. This. It's a perfectly good turn. Okay, Sleep. Gift of Energy for 2. Gift of Proliferation for a Water. Now we can choose to double grow into the 5-card plays or into the air, or we can just have our choice with our G3. I think that makes most sense to go Water, and it gives us more damage and another action. Okay, push. Guardian Serpents right here. Unnerving Paul. I think I'm good. What other actions do we have? We have a Defend 2. Well, we're taking no Blight this turn. So, yeah, we'll just, I don't know, go there. +1 damage. Okay, well, we're still... Ooh, that is going to cause us to Blight here in the 1. Okay, we just need 1 defense worth of value. Destroy becomes 2 damage, so we can destroy these towns, and they just become damage towns. That's an interesting little thing. Ooh, invaders do -1 damage if they've taken damage. So, there we go. We will definitely go here and damage you. So we take less damage. And then over here, we can just kill 2 cities and be pretty happy with it. Notably, this town will gather out, which means we lose a Fear Farm. But that's okay. Still plenty of plastic on the board. We have plenty of damage. We can always make more Fear Farms. It's never something to worry about. Keep this guy here. Let's see. We're building into the jungles. Going here. And we'll go here. Okay, mountains and jungles. Now it's starting to get real. All right. Whew. Dissolving Vapors is really, really strong here in the fort. Just full clears it straight up. Can't be too mad about that. Yeah, let's Dissolving Vapors. Hold on. Let's think about this. Because I'm thinking I might want to use this Left Innate to get 5 damage in this land, like killing 2 cities. We go like kill, city, city, explorer, explorer, ping. And then that'll leave 2 damaged invaders so we can skip it with a unnerving Paul. So if I dissolving vapors, then I want to gather here. So that way now when I do this, I gather here, go ping, and 1, 2, 3, no, reset damage, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now I have a Dahan push, aka a presence movement. 3 lost condition ravages. Whew. How much fear farms do I have? 6 land still? Golly. So much damage. We could also use this for Dahan movement. So if we manage to get this defended, how much is this one ravaging for? 11 damage. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. 11 damage. We got a 6. We could call to isolation. I might just start reclaiming every turn. Or a couple turns in a row. Because if I could do like a call to isolation plus a defend in this land, and then we bring Dahan in, that's going to help us out because it's a back-to-back. So I think that's a good plan. We get some damage. We could turn this into a fear farm. We don't really need fear farms. Do we have any presence in blighted lands with buildings? I don't think we do. That's kind of awkward. Is there a damage guy in here? There is. We damage that town. No. We undo that. Because if he's already got 2 damage on him, then when I push him, he just dies. We go damage. Damage. Okay, so when we do 2 damage, it looks like this. That does not have 2 damage on him. That is 1 damage on him. Okay, so we push one town out and it dies. The other town does not die. Okay, so we push town out and it dies. We can push these explorers out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No adjacent towns. Defend it for 6. It'll full clear. Okay. Any other presence movement? You're not doing a heck of a lot in this land. You're not doing anything in this land besides helping me out with events. Okay, just pick up all my fear, pick up some energy. And let's see how we can survive this turn. Oh my golly. So reclaim. I'm going to try another major. Well, this is a great turn to play Smothering Infestation. So I don't see myself playing 2 majors, right? So let's just go for a minor. Twilight Fog is the absolute nuts. So Smothering. We already have the top track Water, so if we want to threshold it, all we have to do is play Nature's Resilience, which is the plan here. Call to Isolation, Unnerving Paul. So we Nature's Res to defend, Call to ISO to kick out, Unnerving Paul to solve. That leaves these 2 lands. We just need to survive. I mean, really, we could take one of them with a Ravage, but we're going to skip both of them. We're going to find a way to skip both of them. Lure of the Unknown. Could that be a ticket to victory? No? No? No, I don't think so. Pact of the Joint Hunt, maybe? Just being able to get some damage Pact of the Joint Hunt in combination with our triple Dahan move can be an interesting package. I think that has more potential than Lure. Lure costs 0, but we have enough zeros now. Let's go Pact. Gives us a little bit of positive effectiveness. Okay, if we go here, we sleep. We that means if we sleep, we can't overgrow. And we're not playing this flowing and silent forms to pull presence out. You know what we're going to do? Okay. Instead of Call to Isolation, we're going to play Flowing and Silent Forms to bring in this Sacred Site to skip that Ravage. Then, over here, for this growth, we're going to grow here. Not for the Ravage skip, so we can utilize our defense, and that's how we're going to compensate for the lack of the push. So now over here, we go sleep, and then we just play a bunch of zeros, right? So we just need to, I believe it's to defend 4 that we need to hit, because we're doing 6 plus 4 against 11. So to do that, we just need 2 of the water cards, and this leaves me with 1 single card play. And I think a Gift of Living Energy is sensible, though actually not obligatory. I think Seer Anger would be better. It's more proactive. Last, do we need presence movement? That's good for events. We'll do this. Okay. Boom. Skip to fear. Bring you in. And hey, now we get to test the thing. We get to see if it works. I'll be so excited if it works. It'll make me wonder if I could have just been like breaking this game in half the whole time. I need to undo that for range and targeting. No, hold on. Because that was in the mountains previously. That's not in range. Sacred Site was here. So it can't get pulled in this way. Oh, I might be caught in a snafu. I might be stuck taking a loss condition. Okay, so Asleep and Never Waken doesn't do anything. We have to go back. Because the card's just doing literally nothing. It makes no sense to play it. Save our energy. And then instead, we can try for something more proactive. Maybe we do Fields Choked in combination with Pact of the Joint Hunt. We could play Overgrow in the night now. We can... Overgrow in the night is just good for like a bulk of fear. Is Prolif any good? I mean, if we're going to be Reclaim looping with Shroud, then we're going to want to keep Prolifing, because I could do 5 cards, but I think next turn is 2 defense cards. We got one of them back. This land's just going to be those 2 again. Yeah, Overgrown that I was probably going to get forgotten for a major. I think this is their line. Okay. Unnerving Paul. Get out of there. Okay, fall backwards into a loss condition. Okay, Prolif. Let's go here. Flowing in Silent Forms. Here. Defend 4, defend 6. Ooh, more damage. Or I can add a town to the 3. If I go anywhere else, it's still more damage. Remove the top fear card. It doesn't get us up to the next terror level. Otherwise, I'd strongly consider it. It's a lost condition anyways. That's a skip anyways. It's only this land number 1. Right now, it's 11 against 10. And this would make it 15 against 10. Though notably, if we do this, and then we strife the city, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, then we'd be safe again. So a single strife on a city does save it. Yeah, then we could just like discard our hand, pay for free. Yeah, let's Weave Lies. Just discard you, discard you, discard you. Go here, which makes our events more likely. Go here, which makes our events more likely. Wilds. There and there. Okay, defend 3 and minus damage to Dahan during Ravage. So that's something. Okay, so this land, what do we got? It's a 2 damage Ravage. If we remove a town, then we're good. Let's see. We have 4, 8, 10, 13. Yeah, let's just remove a town. Make our back-to-back easier. Over here, I could get rid of an Explorer that's inactive. Get rid of an Explorer that's not a big deal. In this land, how much HP do we have? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if I remove 2 Explorers, I think I full clear. Okay, removes from a land with presence. We can empty this land out, which I think is a worthwhile action. We can get chunk value here, but I think emptying this land out is good. Okay, here, allow Ravage, full clear. Here, sacrifice, and I do get to push it. Oh my golly. That is so good. That is so good. Okay. Second loss condition. Now we have to be careful. Oh, and we got that one. Rampant Green gets one of these. I think it's just going to be Portents and Sucking Ooze. But the air element is better over here. The earth element, and actually the water element is relevant. Okay. All right. Where do we gathering into? Gathering into the 3. These are all, almost identical. Now we're gathering into here, which has none. Here, which has this land. This land. Alright, terror level 3 against Habsburg. We're so close to winning the game. Alright, now we just need to find a way to close it out. We have 1 sacred site. Okay. That's not going to do too much. Smothering Infestation is going to be really, really nice here in land number 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Kill everything. Well, almost everything. Okay, that's really good. Stem the flow of water requires a sacred site, so it can only go around here, so nothing. Seer Anger. That's line number 6 is huge. We got some damage. How many fear farms do we have? 6 land still? Okay. Mountains and jungles ravaging. This is such a big damage, but like it's so inefficient to like kill this, kill these, kill these. What do we got? We got 2 pings. So I think that'll kill this town on the 7, which is certainly something. It's probably my best use for it. Now we're only 16 fear away. 11 fear after the end of the turn. We can get all these Tahan in the game. 1, 2, 3. And we can add a wilds. There's probably a more efficient way of doing this. Add a wilds there, maybe. Over here, we could do 1 damage plus 3 damage. Doesn't change anything. So we'll just do that here. All right. So let's see. How much fear do we need? We need 9 fear. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7. 8, 9. I think we just win fast with fear. Yeah, let's just get her done with fast fear. Hold on, no, sorry. I meant to take, Veil the Night's Hunt. And then go over here. We can pick up a major, because why not? Trees and Stone Speak of War is certainly a major. Getting rid of Prolif, because that's a terrible card. And, yeah, kind of doesn't matter where we go. I think we get her done. So, to maximize our fear, we just play like all of our fast cards. Go like here, here, here. Okay, we can play, I don't know, you. And then over here, we can go like here, 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 here. And that is absolute overkill for a fear out victory. Go like Veil the Night's Hunt. Go like this. Push, push, push. We can do like a Trees and Stone Speak of War. Doing that for a little bit of fear. Oh wait, what? That was the last city? Even better. You know, I think a Terror Level 3 victory somehow looks cooler than a Terror Level 4 victory. So by golly, we got what we were planning for. We knew it was going to happen. We had it deep in our brains. Well, hey, whoops, by accident, I did a thing, and we won. Man, that was quite the game. That was a bit of a challenge, but we got there. We got to turn Shroud into a Super Saiyan, cranking out 5 fear a turn. I think we got 5 fear a turn every single turn from turn 2 onwards. Getting that 3rd damaged land on turn number 1 was also a really big deal. It was just a really nice setup. Really, really sweet pairing. I guess everything with green is nice, but Shroud makes it extra nice. Extra nice. Thank you all so much for watching. Have yourselves a glorious day.